Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November 6th edition of Systems Lab Live. I hope that you guys are doing super well. This is like the post-election flow. I'm loving this. This almost looks like I'm in heaven. I'm imagining that there's some sort of majestic glow going on. My little light situation broke right before I got to my destination, but we are here. We are pressing forward nonetheless. And it is Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. We're on this post-election flow. I'm excited about what's going on today because we're talking about navigating 2025 digital trends and tools, part one. So I want you to send this live stream out to as many people as possible. Tell them Ashley Schuler's on. Tell them that they need to be on here to hear about how they can prepare, future proof, be the cool kid on the block, be the one on the scene that's going to bring about the change and bring about what's needed for your projects and your programs and your initiatives and the things that you're executing on. Because let me tell you something, while I'm not a big fan of fast forwarding to December 31st, I do want to be mindful that time is moving and it is a ticking and it is a rocking and it is a shaking. And so let's be prudent as project leaders, project managers. Some of us are business analysts, some of us are OBMs, some of us are supporting entrepreneurs, some of us are in the corporate spaces. And so this live stream is exciting to me because we're really just examining three particular trends, and I'm going to offer some perspective on some tools. And speaking of tools, I just received a great email because I covered a topic in my email. If you're not subscribed to the daily practice, I don't know what you're doing. Each week, we're taking a question that a PM asks, and I am answering it. One question, one answer per week. So if you're in Instagram, hello, Instagram fam, go ahead and go to the link in my bio and then subscribe to the daily practice. That's what it's called. I almost forgot just in 2 seconds. And then I have a little form. You can submit a question. I think that's great. Those of you that are on LinkedIn and on the YouTube streets, go ahead and subscribe to the email. And if you have a question, send me a DM and I'll send you the form and we can make that work. This form that I created is powered by Fill Out, which is a software tool that complements and works with Airtable. Shout out to Airtable. Also, shout out to, oh no, I never clicked live on the Insta. That's okay. Instagram fam is just seeing me just now. Shout out to my dear friend in systems, Ashley, and she just came out with a fantastic Airtable client template situation. She's one of the maestros in the Airtable space. This is why I can't totally abandon Airtable. It's because of Ashley, my own namesake. But she has a great business called Systems Over Stress. And I'm always excited to get all of her emails. And so she just launched this amazing coaching client hub. And I'm excited about it. You go and you click on it. I think it's like $12.95. I think you get $100 off. And you get 90 days or 30 months, 90 days of support with that. And that's just, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I dig it. It is super fantastic. So in the comments, make sure you put who you are, what you're working on. You know, we are less than 60 days out from the new year. Some of us are already slowing down. We're already putting in our leave requests. Some of us have the freedom. They don't have no leave requests. You're just doing your thing, which I love. And we are slowly but surely just trying to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our time. Some of us also are doing that introspective piece where like, where am I? What should I do? How should I do it? What should be happening? All the things that are going on. And then there's me, who I'm like, I think you should do both and be able to start preparing for 2025. Did you know that there will be about 32 million remote workers in 2025? Oh, that's a lot of people. And I know for us as project managers, we are actively managing teams, sometimes multiple cross functional teams, maybe it's just one team. Regardless, you are in some sort of remote situation managing team members. This I know to be true. And with all of the things of managing teams and doing your work, there's always something going on when it comes to the project management space. So it's ever evolving, new methodologies, new technologies, and things. And so tonight I'm going to cover 3 topics. We'll probably be on here about 30 or 35 minutes or so. But first, we're going to be talking about AI and automation. AI and automation. This is something that I have just thoroughly enjoyed this year, just diving into the world of AI. So, AI and automation is our first topic. And I think this is good because one of the things I think there's so many, a bit of some misconceptions, right? Hello, Tony Ray Smith. Okay. And Buzz Lightyear. Buzzed Lightyear. I love that. Something about that is awesome. So what we're going to be talking about in terms of our focus tonight, we're going to start off with AI and automation. I asked this question to this marketing group. They're just all about the AI. It's like a marketing AI group. They have like, I don't know. It's like a lot of people in that Slack group. I love it. I think it's fantastic. So I asked this question. I said, hey, for those of you that are project managers, let's talk about implementing AI, challenges, opportunities, what's scary, what's good, what's exciting. Like, let's talk about like everything. And for project managers, we have to embrace these new technologies. Like, no longer are we just like, we, let's not pay attention to Chat GPT or Claude AI or Gemini. This is a time where let's do some exploring. Like, let's really look at AI. And I did a previous series. Oh, I gotta put it in a little playlist, but it's a whole series on AI and automation. Yeah, I think it was like, yeah, on AI and automation. I think I have like four or so live streams on that. And then I also have some email content. See, if you were on the email, you would know I'd be diving into it, diving into the whole thing. So with that said though, I want to walk you through a couple of things that we need to be thinking about as we approach 2025 when it comes to AI, and then I'll switch over to automation for a few key points there. So here's the thing is that you as a leader, you have to be really excited, and you have to be very have a strategy behind implementing and utilizing AI tools. Like, you can't be like you can't do a softball with it. You can't say, well, I think we're going to start using AI. You got to be really hands on and be the change agent to implement AI within your team, department, organization. Okay. Like, be sure of yourself to say, you know what? We need to start using AI. This is what I'm hearing and seeing, and let's put together a plan to do that. So I think a couple of things that should be considered when you are working your way to implement the road to implementation. And this is what I say just for any tool, anything that you are looking to implement, have a roadmap. This is really important. Like, have a roadmap. Like, when are the changes going to be made? Like, what are the first steps? What is a 90-day rollout look like? What does a 6-month rollout look like? Maybe 6 months is too much. But let's say a 90-day rollout look like of implementing an AI tool or two. Like, what does that even look like? And so in our project work, We are always doing a lot of things. Number one, we're in meetings. We are reconciling after the meetings. We are talking with team members. We are literally using a fire extinguisher and like extinguishing any type of fires. We are updating documents. We are looking at the project schedule. We are moving, grooving at a pace that some people are like, you just going. You just like on this, like you on fire. You just kind of like NBA Jam. You're on fire. That used to be my favorite game. But that's our life. It's time sensitive deadlines. And so some things that we can do to help introduce and make sure that we can speed the process along when it comes to utilizing AI is making sure that you have the right training in place. So instead of saying, okay, we need to adopt like 8 or 9 or 10 tools, like it's just one, right? It's just one tool, one or two tools. Look at your existing tech stack and what already has AI. See how you can use it. I'm a big fan of piloting projects and piloting how you're going to adopt AI. Communication and transparency is super important. So being able to bring the team along your planning process is going to be instrumental. Like don't now listen, this is also another, like, I don't know if this is a 2025 digital trend or not, but this is just a pro tip as a leader, is that we are no longer doing anything in silos. Like we're not picking up our snack packs and going to the back of the room and saying, I'm just going to work on this by myself. Like we're not doing that anymore. We are collaborating. Okay. And I love that good old C word, baby. That good old collaboration. You hear me? I'm here for another 2 hours to talk about the power of collaboration, the art of collaboration. But we'll put a pin in that because we'll definitely talk about that in 2025 a bit more. But to my point is that you need support. You need transparency and communicating with your team. I'm a big fan of buddying up. Get you a little small committee. Get you a small committee of a 2 person team, like a 3 person team that says, this is what I'm thinking, chart it out, whiteboard it up, and say, here's the plan. Thoughts, reactions, nonviolent disagreements. Let's go. Like, this is what I'm talking about. So having the communication, having the transparency is super important. Okay. Those of you that are working with contractors, this is where it gets a little, this is where it kind of gets like, how do we do that? Because now you got to think about licensing and seats and things like that. So again, communication, transparency, and are you offering and have you thought through training and support? What does training look like? What does upskilling look like? What do these things look like? Now, let's say for instance, we're talking about a good old chat GPT. This is mainly getting trained on how you can utilize prompts, how you can write prompts in the best format so you can get the right response, things of that nature. So you may want to be able to create some prompts for your team based upon functions, duties, maybe common themes. Think through that because I think that there's something there. I also think it's super important too is that you want to have this small committee soldier with you, journey with you for the long haul. Having people that are dedicated, that are going to take time out to say, you know what, we need to research, we need to discuss, we need to test. I think everything just is wide open. Like the Dixie Chicks would say, wide open spaces. You know what I'm saying? And so everything is wide open, right? And so it is very important when we are walking through these tools and things, we are looking at it from that perspective, right? Where does the training come in? Where does the research come in? You don't have to have everything all in one setting. Hello. I want to say a quick hello, Alicia Cooper Wells. Robin Ann Oakes, Alicia Pinkett, Just Be Fit and Free. Thank y'all for joining the live stream. Awesome. Any comments? Make sure you put your comments in the little comment box and I can answer them. Or I always love a good show up in the DMs with a voice memo or question. I'm here for it all. AI and automation. So back to our story that we are talking about. Some other things to think through: scalability and flexibility when it comes to AI. How scalable are these AI solutions? Now, in terms of tools, many of our favorite project management tools and work management tools have some sort of AI-ness going on. So when I mean talking about AI-ness, I mean I'm talking about the features. So we're talking about ClickUp Brain, my other favorite tool, Coda Brain. Asana has AI for their workflows and things. Let's talk about Notion Brain. All the things that are being notionized in Notion, they are there. I actually, I have a lot of things in Notion. I think I've said that to you all. I know I threaded some thoughts together and put them on threads, but I have been a bit impressed by the whole Notion Brain. I've Googled things because I put a lot of my sermon notes, self studies, Bible studies, and things, and they're all on in the Notion. Like at this point, I'm gonna keep Notion forever, pretty much. Like I can't transfer the notes over to a different platform. Like there's no need. But Notion Brain is cool because you type in the prompt. Like I'll type in a prompt when I want to research a topic. I'm like, did I write some notes or have some information on meeting management? And then it'll pull everything up. So what my point is that in pointing out to you these tools is that some of you all may already have the AI-ness and the AI features already embedded inside of your platforms that you're currently using. If you're in the corporate space, I'm imagining that Microsoft and Microsoft Copilot, if you don't have any restrictions of sorts, I don't know. What I mean restrictions is that if you perhaps work maybe in a federal government workspace, you may not have full-fledged Microsoft, so you may not have Copilot. May or may not, that's okay. But those of you that are also in other corporate spaces that you may have Copilot, that right there apparently is the bee's knees. This is what I hear. It's the bee's knees. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the scalability. How can you grow with the tool as business and as work becomes more complex or the business changes directions? Think through that. Ethics and compliance. This is a huge thing. I have to do a bit more research on the ethics and compliance piece, but there's a huge thing, and I've read about it and heard about it, where there's a lot of concern about how to ethically and responsibly utilize AI for your work. So I'm a big proponent of, give the credit where all the credit is due. You know what I'm saying? So I know many people out here in these streets that are utilizing the AI to just write their whole world, right? Whether it is a book, whether it is full-fledged social media posts. I think the closer and closer that you get to, publishing when it comes to bodies of work that you may have and things. Yeah, I think, like I said, do a little bit more research. I think you have to think about, ethically speaking, what are your ideas? And then what is AI? And then how do we make sure that the words, the research, and the things that are being pulled together, how do we make sure that we give kind of proper, at least for me, proper citations or proper, what's the right word? Due diligence, I guess. You just say that. Okay, cool. What else? What else do people have questions about when it comes to AI in terms of digital tools and trends? Shouldn't be so much of a surprise, but AI and automation, when we talk about automation, especially from a PM perspective, we're really looking at it from the perspective of what are those mundane tasks? What are those tasks? What are those particular activities that are just womp, womp, the womp to the womp to the womp, right? They're just very mundane. They're repetitive. After you're looking to move the work faster. You're looking to make sure that it goes from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, and it's just seamless. You don't have to go in and out of a tool to click, to push, to be, the do, the here, the there, right? So automation helps with that. Automation, we think of this just for example, if this happens, then that happens, right? I love it. I do some good self automations myself. If a due date is approaching, I think I have something in ClickUp. If the due date approaches on a certain date, I automatically assign it to myself, and then it gets a priority flag of some sort. Easy peasy, right? Because what it does is that it brings it to my attention to say, Ashley, even though this is a task that you need to do, this also just moves it to a higher level to just say, hey, you need to pay attention. This is a higher priority task. And so you can do the same thing within some of our favorite project management tools or work management tools, doing things such as assigning people to workflows, comments, things of that nature, moving statuses and whatnot. And that's the bread and butter, baby. Um, Coda. That's one example I wanted to share with you. Coda does something really cool. Coda is one of my favorite tools. You hear me a lot talk about Coda because we're going to drop into what I love to call is project team hubs. That's our second point that I want to make. But let me just go ahead and explain to you all what is Coda. Coda is very similar to our friend Notion. Okay, one would say that they're cousins, right? They are cousins. And so Coda is cool because it houses information like databases, similar to Airtable. But you can do lots of different things. What Coda allows you to do, it's like a blank page, it's a blank slate. And what it does is that it allows you to build your documents, build your work in a unique way. It integrates tools like Miro or Canva or Google Slides. It brings all of these tools into one space. And why this is important, project team hubs, and this is really my personal 2025 digital trends and tools. I believe, especially for my non-tech businesses, I believe that project team hubs are going to be the wave in 2025. I always talk about centralizing your work, and I often talk about using a project management tool. And I believe you can absolutely create an all-in-one hub situation inside ClickUp. But what I really love about Coda is that the ability to create a team hub that has information about each team member, their birth date, their favorite candy or their favorite meal or something, a fun fact. And then you can pull together all of your projects. You can pull together a repository of FAQs, of some knowledge management, risk management, meeting management. All these things can be in one spot. And project team hubs are really great because you can put all things like any type of information that are SOPs. You can put past presentations and things. You can really make a project team hub something that it is almost like a one-stop shop. And I just believe that many of us, because we have so many technology tools, and this is something that it's not going to slow down. Like tech advancements are not going to slow down. There's going to be so many different tools. I have somebody that recently just pitched me on a project management tool. It is not slowing down. Technology is here. But I am an advocate of being able to reduce the amount of tech that you're using and create something that is literally your central hub. Do I think one tool can do everything? I don't. Can it become pretty close? I do. I think it can become pretty close. yeah, I just think that it can. And I'm a strong believer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong believer in that. I believe that you can do that. You can absolutely be able to create a team hub that has all of your favorite tools and information, that people don't have to go through 3, 4, 5, or 6 different apps just to find an answer to a question or a resource. And so I believe in the day and age of managing remote teams, this is something that is going to be critical. So if you have pieces of a hub, and I didn't even talk about what are the elements of a hub. Let's talk about it. So for example, an example of a hub, and I alluded to this earlier, what you want to think about a hub is you want to think about it as if somebody has a question about something, they should turn their attention and their time to the hub. So let's say you have a coaching business. Shout out to all the coaches out here in these streets doing the coaching, having the clients, doing all of the things and loving it. So here's what you want to be thinking through. You have a few coaches and you have a coaching community. You want to have a way, especially if you are bringing people on to coach other participants that are in your program. You want to have a spot where you can put all the links, like Zoom links. You want to put like the rules in terms of like what is the coaching playbook? Like what's the methodology that you use? That should be documented. Okay. You want to be able to put technology tool and resources. You want to be able to put something like an FAQ, frequently asked questions, inside this particular team hub. You want it to be so that nobody texts you, Slack pings you, emails you to say, hey, where do I find X? Mm-mm-mm. That is not what we want. Okay. Our project team hubs are meant to be a living, breathing, active, particular, a hub. It's where everybody comes to hang. It's where everybody comes to find information. And so I think it's really important. And I love it because it's living and breathing. I love it because it's living and breathing. Questions about project team hubs. What do they look like? All these different types of things. And I'm just going to open, I won't show you my screen, but I do want to, oh, wait a minute. I think I have like a demo folder situation. Yeah, here we go. In my project Alpha Wiki, I have things like client onboarding, a project brief, meeting management. I have all these like an internal Q&A, all different types of things that are in this project hub. All right. Questions about project hubs? I'd love to know. Any questions? Last but not least, hello, mental health and burnout. Hello, mental health and burnout, because it's a real thing. I recently came across a statistic that said in LinkedIn's confidence survey, they had something a couple of months ago, and they said that program and project management, like that industry, was at the top in terms of team members, those that are in that profession, being burnt out. I was like, really? But that makes sense, because what are we doing? Managing the work, leading the work, organizing the work, putting out the fires, managing the stakeholders. Everything is boom, boom, boom. I got to get here, there, or everywhere. So when we talk about mental health, let's break some of these things down and burnout. A couple of things are going on for the mental health piece. And this is why, especially when you are managing remote teams, it's going to be really important that you really think through, what does success look like in terms of a healthy team? Let's say that again. What does success look like from a healthy team perspective? What's going on? The man called from above. What's happening? So what does that look like? Okay, so taking a step back, that means that you have a created a culture, an environment that supports a flexible work environment. People can take off the afternoons, people can be able to arrange their schedules, you're communicating with team members, you have a good sense of what is happening in the person's life. Why? Because when you meet with them, you're not just sitting there just throwing out what's this task and that task and blah blah blah. Like you're checking in and you're making sure that person is good. Like if they're stressed, you're like, you want to hear about it. But one of the ways to do that is because you got to be an emotionally intelligent project manager. Hello. Let's hit that. And that's a end of July live stream that y'all got to tap into. We'll do more of it. We'll definitely do more of that. But to be an emotionally intelligent project manager means that you have to look at what people are saying and doing. Is there a conflict in that? How people are responding to things, going beyond the task. You're never going to be able to prevent burnout, but you can certainly reduce it, like fully prevent it, because you just can't. So you'll want to do a couple things with that. You'll want to make sure you have a good resource allocation plan, which means that you are looking at how are my resources being utilized? How are they being maximized for efficient project execution? So that's not only the people, but it's also different, maybe it's products, it's materials, it's technology, it's all of those things. Like, how are we ensuring that we're identifying per project, per task, what's needed, when it's needed? And so these are things to think about. Mental health, like, let's not ignore, we're not going to ignore the fact that there are different types of stresses and things like that. My number one strategy in terms of not being burnt out or not having, I wouldn't say you don't have any mental health issues. Well, in the sense of how do I make sure that my mental health is intact? Number one, I pray. Number two, I exercise. Number three, I eat really well. Number four, having an outlet to be able to just vent and having an outlet to exchange thoughts, ideas, and energies around your work is super important. Let's not forget that therapy is also a tool that your workplace, in terms of benefits and things, there should be some, at this point, there should be some sort of, I don't know, I'm not saying there's a coupon, but there's resources out there where that is being encouraged so that one can be able to talk the things out. So questions and comments when it comes to 2025 digital trends and tools. Okay. Anything else y'all want to see? But I just want to make sure that as we're definitely moving forward, when we're talking about our mental health, we're talking about the burnout, our work is just getting super complex. The problems that we're solving are not simple, and the pressure to perform can get the best of us. But knowing that your work is not tied to your worth, hello somebody, because you are created in the image of God, and that is where your identity rests. So being able, for even me on a personal note, just me being able to recognize that the project does not make or break me, but what it is that it's a tool and a learning opportunity to grow in character and grow in skill set. So with all of that said, what questions do people have? What types of comments do people have? Let me know. We'll be closing out in probably about another 35 to 45 seconds. But I have certainly enjoyed my time with you all here today. And I think one of the things that we'll do for next week is we'll talk about a few more of these topics. And then if you have questions for me, I can answer them live. I can answer them in pieces of content. But I just wanted to take and set aside some time to talk through, okay, what are some of the digital tools and trends that are happening? And I know that probably the last one surprised you all because you're just like, that's not digital, but it all moves and grooves together. So if that is all, great people, then we have kicked off November in the right way. So I'm looking forward to next week. And I look forward to talking with you soon. Share this live stream with about 5 to 10 people. I'm looking forward to hearing about your particular feedback on this live stream, what you're seeing. And also, again, if there's things that you want me to address, send me a direct message and happy to cover it in some content in another live stream. All right. Have a good one and we'll talk soon.